What's up everybody, once again my name is Matt, and welcome back to Let's Play Sonic Mania. Today we're taking on Stardust Speedway, which is actually from Sonic CD, and depending on who you ask, that could be a good thing or a bad thing. Sonic CD is often said to be one of the better classic Sonic games by a lot of people. I'm just not really one of those people. Don't get me wrong, I think Sonic CD is a fun game, but I think that the level design isn't that good, and the problems that I do have with it are sort of exemplified here in Mania. There really is a distinct difference in how this level plays when compared to, like, any other level in this game, minus maybe the very last level and the other Sonic CD levels that they included. So, in case you've never played Sonic CD, here's what you need to know. Every stage had a future and a past version. To get the best ending, you'd have to go to the past, destroy one of Eggman's machines in order to stop it from making robots, and that would save the future. To do this, you would have to hit a signpost and then maintain enough speed to make the time jump. Sounds like a really cool mechanic, and it is. The problem is, the stage design is sort of counterintuitive to that mechanic, and I'll explain that in just a minute. For now, let's focus on catching this UFO because I gotta get myself that 5th Chaos Emerald, man. And what's pretty cool is if we manage to pull this off, we'll only be 2 emeralds away from having all 7. And we're on like the 6th zone right now, and like I said, there's only 12, so if we don't mess up any more special stages, we can probably get all 7 Chaos Emeralds by Zone 8, meaning we can go Supersonic for like the last third of the game, which would be amazing. So I'm gonna try hard real quick. Like, this layout of the stage doesn't seem too hard, and yeah, there we go. Actually, probably shouldn't have gotten that freaking blue arrow because I was already like an inch away from Mach 2, and if I was already at Mach 2, that would have set me directly at Mach 3. If only I had gathered like 1 or 2 more blue spheres, that would have been amazing, but not a huge deal. There's a lot of spheres that we can pick up, so yeah, already we're on Mach 3. Now all we have to do is catch this thing. Thankfully, like I was saying, yeah, the layout of this stage isn't that hard. There's a lot of obstacles, but they're all sort of out of the way, so as long as we don't mess up, this emerald is ours, baby. There we go. Nicely done. Now, hypothetically, we could get the remaining emeralds sooner, but I'd have to get lucky and find more special stage rings, which, if I'm being honest, the only reason I know where these ones are is because these are the rings that I found while I was actively looking for them on my personal file. As far as I know right now, there is no map of the stages that shows exactly where the rings are, and I imagine those won't exist until after the PC version of this game is released, because once that's out, someone will figure out a way to mod it and like view the entire level at once and then create maps showing where all the rings are, and that'll make finding them a whole heck of a lot easier. It actually does make me wonder if they sort of delayed the PC version because of that. I mean, I doubt it. That seems like some conspiracy level thinking, but it's weird to me how they released the console versions, which have glitches and bugs, but then delayed the PC version saying they wanted to fix some issues with it. It's probably more likely due to the fact that in order to release on console, you need to get the game approved for sale by the various console manufacturers. Like, I know Microsoft has a very rigorous like approval system, so if Sega like submitted the game, then found these bugs and wanted to patch them before the release, they'd have to re-go through that approval process, which could take some time, and obviously that would mess up a simultaneous release. So that's probably why it was easier for Sega just to release the version they had submitted and then patch it later on down the line. I'm assuming once they release the PC version of the game, they'll probably just like release a patch for all the console versions that will fix all those same issues, which is something I hope they do, because we've even experienced one of the glitches in this LP, like when I beat Mean Bean Machine and then still died in Act 2 of Chemical Plant. Stuff like that is really stupid. And there's like a bunch of other soft lock style glitches like that in this game that really do need to be ironed out, because I think if they fix all those, it'll like take this game to the next level, so to speak. Already this is not a bad game, but those glitches do sort of feel like they cheapen the overall experience. And dang, I was only 13 rings away. I kind of like messed up that last section there by not turning it into rings first and then collecting some of the other spheres after, but oh well, that was my bad. Poor planning on my part. I apologize. Anyway, so let's actually return back to the topic of Sonic CD and its level design, because I don't want to leave that unfinished, and I know there's been sort of a gap already in what I said. So to recap, the time travel mechanic is really cool, and it's something I like about Sonic CD. The only problem is the stage design is counterintuitive to that mechanic. In some cases, you actually have to have almost frame-perfect precision in order to build up enough speed required to get to the past. On top of that, the levels have more of a maze-like design, meaning that instead of like moving forward as fast as you want, you're moving a lot slower and doing a lot more platforming. Now again, that's not a bad thing for Sonic to do occasionally, but if that takes up a lot of what Sonic is doing, then I think it fundamentally works against what Sonic was made for. On top of that, it's also hard to get a sense of progress. Like, you'll often feel like you're lost, and you'll be asking yourself, you know, where do I go? Because it's not exactly apparent if going left or right is actually making you any progress in the level. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, Matt, you got through that stage, no problem. Why are you complaining? Well, here's the thing. I mean, at this point, now I've played through this level a handful of times, all within, like, you know, the span of only a couple of days. So I'd say like my memorization of the layout of this level is pretty good, and that's probably the reason why I was able to navigate it so quickly and without getting lost too much. But I feel like anyone who is just jumping into this level, or maybe even their second playthrough, is still gonna have some issue navigating through here. Anyways, though, this boss fight's kind of easy. Yeah, just like hit the two little guys when they spawn in, then just hit the big guy. It's literally as simple as that. So already we are done with Act 1 of Stardust Speedway. Now we're moving on to Act 2, which is gonna be slightly different, but also slightly the same. You'll see what I mean. Alright, thank goodness. I actually think you can soft lock this stage. Like, if the goalpost drops a shield and you're on the left side of the screen, Sonic won't actually be able to transition to Act 2 because he'll end up getting stuck on the freaking shield or whatever. But now we're going off to the future. It's kind of cool how they included, like, this section. It's the very same transition they used in Sonic CD when you would go to the future, so it's kind of a nice touch, and I do appreciate it. Anyways, welcome to Act 2. Yeah, it looks way different than Act 1 because now we're in the future, so to speak. I actually do like the future version of this stage a little bit more than the past version. The music's way cooler, I like the jazzy feel to it, and I don't know, it's got like this Donkey Kong Country-esque system of bumpers that you can just like throw yourself all across the stage, so it's kind of cool. Generally speaking too, it's a lot easier to navigate this stage since you can pretty much just hold right the entire time and eventually you'll make it to the end, which I understand isn't really indicative of good level design because then you're just holding right the entire time and not really doing anything, but I think it's slightly better than getting lost and not really knowing if you're making any progress. Oh no! There was a special stage ring! Dude, it was right there! If I had noticed it like a second sooner, I would have been able to like jump down and grab it. I'm kind of sad now, guys, not gonna lie. I tried to go back and get it, but I have no idea where it is now. I feel like I'm way too far away, so I'm not even gonna bother doing that anymore. And can I please just, there we go. That's what I wanted to do. Keep going to the right. That's all you need to do in this stage. Eventually, we'll make it to the end. And thank you, Spike Ball. That is exactly what I wanted to happen. Just take all my rings, please. But actually don't, because I kind of need them. Like, I kind of do want to get as many rings as I can get, just because while the boss of this stage is very fun, I do recommend trying to have as many rings before going into it as physically possible, because there's a lot of things that can eat up your ring count if you're not careful. Speaking of the boss, well, we're already here, and I'm not gonna fall for that fake projector garbage. Get that out of here, Eggman. Hey, we did it. We saved all the animals. Good for us. But holy crap, check it out, guys. It's Metal freaking Sonic. I'm actually really glad that this is one of the boss fights in the game, because the Metal Sonic fight is so iconic in Sonic CD, and even to a similar extent, I guess, Sonic Generations, because that was like the more recent fight versus Metal Sonic like this. And it's kind of cool how they brought back like the classic fight in this game. And oh, that actually stinks. Not gonna lie. I was trying to jump to avoid that. But yeah, if you do maintain like a pretty reasonable speed and jump at the correct times, you'll be able to avoid all of Metal Sonic's attacks in that first phase. The second phase is a little bit different. So we have like these weird Mecha Sonics. I'm not even sure if you want to call them that, but what you want to do here is sort of spin into them and knock them into Metal Sonic, who is, you know, inside that weird capsule thing up there. It's kind of hard to do, actually, because the way they balance is, I don't want to say random, because it's not, but it's erratic. So getting them to actually hit metal can be a little bit harder than you might think. Plus, you have to dodge like the freaking lightning balls, and those like mini Mecha Sonics can also attack you if you're not careful. I think we only need to hit them 3 or 4 times, so maybe only one more hit if we're lucky. Yeah. Oh, no, never mind. I thought that was the last one. I got a little too excited there. Oh, there we go. Wait, how did we even hit him a 4th time? Because I don't think we reflected like another Sonic at him, so that was kind of weird. Also, I lost all my rings right at the end. That really stinks, but whatever. We're moving on to the 3rd phase of the fight, and thankfully, the 3rd phase is basically free, so I'm not really worried about it too much. We just have to like dodge all of his attacks until we get to where the 3rd phase sort of begins. It's not too hard, and I think we're just about there, maybe? I thought we were actually going to be there, but maybe not. I guess this section's a little bit longer than I remember it being. It's not like a repeating loop like you might think it is, because even though the stage like sort of does repeat itself, eventually we will reach the final area. In fact, I think, yeah, we're there now, because there's like that giant freaking 3D Eggman in the background. So this phase is actually stupid easy. All we have to do here is like hit metal. That's all there is to it. I mean, that spike wall, it's gonna follow us, but it's not really ever going to be a threat. If we even do run into it, we'll be able to like pick up speed and get away from it fairly quickly. Plus, one good thing about that wall is it does sort of push your rings. So like if you do get hit, standing next to the wall, not a bad idea, since you will be able to recollect a majority of your rings. There we go. Metal Sonic does also make himself vulnerable pretty much after every single one of his attacks, so it's very easy just to jump on him. I'm trying to get Tails to like do a second hit, but he's not really helping me out here. If you can get Tails to like land those second hits on him, then yeah, this fight's over super quickly. I'm not sure why he's not really doing anything for me, but you know, whatever. I can deal with Metal all on my own. I actually have no idea how he managed to hit me there, but whatever. Metal is gone. There's only room for one Sonic in the world, and that's me, baby. Alright, let's freaking free these animals, and there we go. We are finally done with Stardust Speedway, and boy, am I glad, because guess what? The next stage is one of my favorites. Hydrocity Zone, baby. Oh, yeah! Anyways, so we're going to say that for the next episode. So if you guys enjoyed this part, a like rating would be greatly appreciated. If you want to see more of my videos, consider subscribing. But once again, guys, my name is Matt. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.